Welcome back, students. We have a really exciting essential question this week. Let's read it. What do living things need to grow? Let's think about that for a moment. There's a lot of different types of living things. We just recently learned that the coral reefs are alive too. So that's one type of living thing. You and I are living things, and a lot of the things in our world around us are alive, like plants. Wait a minute. What is a plant? A plant has roots, usually a stem that comes out from the ground, and then also oftentimes leaves. A seed, just like this here, can often grow into a plant. But there's a lot of different types of seeds and a lot of different types of plants. What kinds of plants grow in your neighborhood? Here at school, we have some kalo growing outside. Now, there's also parts of plants that you can eat. Can you think of a plant that you can eat? This is a picture of an onion. Right here is the part that grows into the vegetable that we eat. So interesting. Here's another word I'd like to tell you about before we get to our reading. This word is require. That's a tricky one. Can you say that with me? Require. Now let's clap it out. Require. Require means you need something. Plants require water to grow, but that's not the only thing they require. We'll find out more about that in a moment. Do you know another thing that plants require to grow? What do you require to grow big and strong? Now we get to read a fiction or made-up story. Let's read the title together. My Garden. And down here I see the author or the person who wrote the words in the story. The author is Kevin Henkes. He's a really fun author. I cannot wait to read the story. Looking at the front cover, I see a girl wearing a gardening hat, and she's surrounded by beautiful plants. Let's read and find out what she grows in her garden. Wait a minute. I hear a knock on the door. I better go answer it. It's our friend, Mr. Monkey. He said there's some words in here that are kind of tricky, and we should probably know what they mean before we start to read the book. Is that true? Okay, what are they? You're right, that is a tricky word. He told me the word invisible is in this story. Can you say that with me? Invisible. Invisible means it cannot be seen. Oh, what's that? There's another one? Lantern. A lantern is another word for a light. And then the last one is rusty. That one is tricky. Rusty is kind of like a reddish brown coating. If you look right in the middle of this magnet, you can see it's starting to get rusty. Now we can listen for those words in the story, and our story will probably make more sense. Thanks, Mr. Monkey. See you later. All right, now we can read. My Garden by Kevin Henkes. We have to be very careful when we turn the pages of a book. This is a big book. I'll try to make it so that you can see the pictures too. My mother has a garden. I'm her helper. I water, I weed, and I chase away the rabbits so that they don't eat all the lettuce. It's hard work, and my mother's garden is very nice. But if I had a garden, there would be no weeds, and the flowers would keep blooming and never die. I know that flowers do die in real life usually. I wonder if this is a special type of garden. Let's keep reading and find out. In my garden, the flowers could change color just by my thinking about it. Pink, blue, green, purple, even patterns. Wow, that is pretty special. And if you pick a flower, another one would grow right back in its place. Ooh, so never-ending amount of flowers. That would be pretty cool. In my garden, the rabbits wouldn't eat the lettuce because the rabbits would be chocolate and I would eat them. That would be so cool, chocolate rabbits in your garden. And if I planted seashells, I would grow seashells. And seashells don't normally grow in the garden, do they? If I planted jelly beans, I'd grow a great big jelly bean bush. Whoa, look closer at the picture. I see she's imagining that jelly beans would grow on a bush just like fruit or flowers. Sometimes in my garden, good, unusual things would just pop up. Buttons, umbrellas, and rusty old keys. She has a good imagination. In my garden, there would be birds and butterflies by the hundreds, so that the air was humming with wings. The tomatoes would be as big as beach balls, and the carrots would be invisible, because I don't like carrots. At night, the morning glories would stay open, shining like stars, and the strawberries would glow like lanterns. It's night now. Only the fireflies and the porch light are glowing. Before bed, I take one seashell from the shelf in my room and go to the garden. I poke the seashell into the ground. Who knows what might happen? I cover it up with dirt and pat down the dirt with my foot. "What are you doing?" asks my mother. "Oh, nothing," I say. "Just working in the garden." And there you can see the seashell that she planted is starting to grow a little tiny root. Now this is a fiction or a made-up story. What do you think? Do you think if you planted a seashell or a jelly bean that they would grow into a plant? If you could plant anything you wanted in a special garden, what would it be?